Usually when we crack open a new topic, we're dealing with productivity hacks or maybe the history of coffee.
Right.
But today, today, we're looking at the dream, specifically the dream of owning a slice of paradise. Picture the floor-to-ceiling glass, the infinity pool, that view of the Andaman Sea.
It is a beautiful image.
We're talking about buying property in Phuket.
And honestly, it's an image that draws thousands of people to Thailand every single year.
Mm-hmm.
But as we know, the prettier the dream, the more complex the reality usually is.
Ain't that the truth? And as I was digging through our stack for this deep dive, it became clear pretty quickly that before you can even think about which cocktail to sip on your terrace, you have to answer the million-dollar question.
Or I guess the multi-million baht question.
Exactly.
And that question is the fundamental fork in the road for every single buyer. Do you buy off-plan, meaning a home that is currently just a blueprint and a patch of dirt?
Or do you buy resale, a property that's already standing, furnished, and ready to go?
Exactly.
On the surface, it sounds like a simple preference, right? New or used. But looking at the data we have, this isn't just about whether you like the paint color.
Oh, not at all.
This is a massive strategic decision. It involves legal structures, capital appreciation curves, and honestly, your personal risk tolerance.
It absolutely is. This one decision dictates your financial exposure for the next, 2 to 3 years. It changes how you pay, what you own, and maybe how you sleep at night.
So to guide us through this maze, we are doing a deep dive into insights provided by Ocean Worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
For context, they're a luxury real estate agency based right there in Phuket, and they've been on the ground since 2004.
Which is actually a really significant detail. In a market like Thailand, longevity equals data. It means they've seen the boom cycles, the busts, all the regulatory changes. They aren't just guessing.
Exactly. We're specifically leaning on the expertise of their director, Sandra O'Neill. She's been helping, thousands of families and property investors navigate this exact market for decades.
Right.
So our mission today is to take all that experience and decode the Phuket market. We want to help you figure out which strategy aligns with your goals so that dream home doesn't turn into a financial nightmare.
I like that plan. I'll play the role of risk assessor today. You bring the excitement about the villas.
And you bring the contracts and the reality checks.
Deal.
Perfect. Let's start by setting the stage. We need to get our definitions straight because real estate loves its jargon.
It does.
When we say off-plan, we're essentially talking about buying a promise, right?
That is the perfect way to put it. Off-plan means you are purchasing a property before it's completed.
Mm-hmm.
Often you're buying based on architectural plans, a patch of dirt, and a very glossy, very beautiful show unit.
The vision.
You are buying the vision of what will be there.
Versus resale, which is the traditional transaction. You walk in, you kick the tires, you check the water pressure.
Exactly. It's a pre-owned property.
Yeah.
What you see is what you get. But to understand why this choice is so heated right now, you have to look at how Phuket has evolved. The reading emphasized this isn't the backpacker market of 20 years ago.
Yeah, I saw the term sophisticated developments used a lot in the Ocean Worldwide notes.
And that's the key shift. The market has moved toward branded residences, think luxury condos managed by five-star hotel chains, and high-tech villas for a global audience.
So the stakes are higher.
The stakes are much higher, the designs are more complex, and the money involved is significant. So the core conflict we're exploring today is really a battle between potential and customization on the off-plan side.
Versus certainty and immediacy on the resale side.
Precisely.
Okay, let's start with the visionary strategy, the case for off-plan. Why would I give someone my hard-earned money for a house that hasn't even been built yet?
Well, the primary driver is almost always financial. It's about capital appreciation.
The idea that it's worth more later than it is now.
Correct. Developers need cash flow to build. To get that cash flow without taking out massive bank loans, they incentivize the early buyers.
So you get a better price.
A significantly better price. If you get in at the pre-launch or early construction phase, you're paying a lot less than the final market value.
So by the time the building is finished, say 2 years later, I could already be sitting on a profit without having done anything.
Theoretically, yes.
Right.
As the infrastructure improves, as the pool gets dug, as the project nears completion, the value climbs. You're essentially funding the construction in exchange for that future equity.
That's compelling. But it's not just about the money, right? It's about getting the best slice of the pie.
The pick of the litter, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
If you wait until a building is finished, the best units are gone.
Of course.
Buying off-plan allows you to secure that corner unit, the penthouse, or the one with the unblocked sea view. And at Phuket, the view is everything.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. There's this legal concept I kept seeing in the research called the foreign freehold quota. This
Yeah.
feels like a technical detail that's actually a huge deal. Can you break that down?
This is critical. If you take nothing else away from this deep dive, understand this. In Thailand, for condominiums, foreigners can own the unit outright. That's freehold,
Okay.
but only up to 49% of the building's total saleable area.
So if there are 100 units, only 49 can be owned by foreigners in their own name.
Roughly speaking, yes. And those foreign freehold titles are gold dust. They are most coveted because they offer the most security.
And buying off-plan is the way to get them.
It's often the only way to secure one of these quotas before they sell out. If you look at the resale market, finding a foreign freehold unit is much, much harder because people just hold on to them.
That makes sense. So if I want full ownership, I practically have to be early. What about the money side? I don't have to drop the full cash amount on day one with off-plan, do I?
No, and that's another huge benefit. It's a flexible payment structure. You aren't taking out a massive mortgage or liquidating all your assets immediately.
You pay in stages.
You pay in stages,
Yeah.
linked to construction milestones.
Like, okay, the foundation is done. Here's 20%. The roof is on. Here's another 20%.
Exactly. Usually spans 18 to 24 months. It really helps with cash flow management. And finally, there's the personal touch.
Customization.
Since it's not built, you can often customize the finishes. Tiles, kitchen counters, sometimes even tweaking the layout. You can tailor it to your taste, or if you're an investor, to what is trending in the rental market.
Okay, so I'm getting a discount. I'm getting the best view. I'm getting the freehold title, and I can pick my own tiles. Sign me up.
Hold on. Let's just pause the victory lap. Remember, I'm the voice of reason here.
Right. The crash back to reality.
We have to talk about the risks. Because off-plan is fundamentally a leap of faith. You are trusting that a developer will deliver on a promise.
And promises get broken.
They do. The most common headache is delays. Construction in the tropics is, well, it's unpredictable. You have weather issues. Monsoon season can halt work for weeks.
Material shortages, labor issues.
All of it.
So if I'm planning to move my family there in September because school starts and the house isn't ready,
You are in trouble. Delays can push completion back by months or even years. If you've structured your life or your financing around a specific handover date, off-plan can be very, very stressful.
and then there's the expectation versus reality gap. I've seen this with fast food commercials. The burger never looks like the picture.
It's the same with property, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The show unit is built to perfection.
Right.
But will the actual unit on the fourth floor have that same attention to detail? Poor workmanship or cost-cutting on materials can happen if a developer gets squeezed financially.
Speaking of financial squeezes, what's the worst case scenario?
Developer to bankruptcy. It is rare with the big players, but it happens. If a developer goes bust mid-project and you haven't protected your payments, which we'll talk about later, you could lose your deposit.
That is terrifying.
It is, and there's also market risk. You're locking in a price today for a home you get in 2 years, if the market drops in that time, or if rental demand shifts.
The numbers you crunched today might not work tomorrow.
Exactly.
Okay, that definitely dampens the enthusiasm a bit. So let's pivot to the pragmatic strategy. Resale. This is for the person who says, I don't want promises, I want keys.
Precisely. The biggest pro here is immediate gratification. You sign the contract, you transfer the money, you move in.
Or you start generating rental income immediately.
Immediately. There is no dead time where your money is tied up in concrete and rebar.
And you know what you're buying.
The physical inspection advantage. You can stand on the balcony and see the actual view. You can check the water pressure in the shower. You can see if the neighbors are noisy. You eliminate those nasty surprises of construction.
Plus, you're not living in a construction zone, right?
Usually, yes. Resale properties are in established neighborhoods. The roads are finished, the 7-Eleven is open down the street, the trees have grown in. You're buying into a mature community.
And I imagine there's some wiggle room on price.
That's a key point. With a developer, you are often dealing with a fixed price list. They can't discount too much or it upsets the other buyers.
But with a resale,
You're dealing with an individual seller. Maybe they need to move back to Europe quickly or they need liquidity. There's a real art of the deal here where you can snag a bargain through negotiation.
so resale sounds safer, but I'm sensing another but.
There is always a but. We have to talk about what Ocean Worldwide calls the tropical tax.
Okay, we're not talking about literal taxes here, I hope.
No. Environmental ones. Phuket has a harsh climate for buildings. You've got salty air, high humidity, intense sun, heavy rain. All of this takes a toll.
So a charming older villa might actually just be a maintenance nightmare.
It's possible. Resale homes often need immediate maintenance. Painting, pool regrouting, updating the air conditioning units because the salt air has corroded them. You need to budget for renovations.
And talking about renovations, the styles change too, don't they?
Huge factor. We call it design lag. Trends move fast. A villa built 10 years ago might feel heavy, dark, with lots of teak wood. Modern buyers want sleek, glass, open plan, minimalist designs,
So you might need to modernize it just to compete for rental income.
which requires a significant renovation budget.
And then there's the money thing again. With off-plan, I could pay in chunks.
With resale, you generally need 100% of the capital upfront, or at least a very substantial deposit and financing, which is hard for foreigners to get in Thailand.
That's a major hurdle.
It is. If you don't have the liquid cash ready to go, the resale market is often closed to you.
And going back to that foreign freehold quota, you mentioned it's harder to find in resale.
Much harder. Because once a foreigner has that freehold title, they tend to keep it. Or when they sell at a premium. So finding a resale condo with a freehold title available is a bit of a treasure hunt.
So what does this all mean for the legal side? Because when I hear foreign freehold and leasehold, my eyes start to glaze over a bit, but I know it's super important.
It is the most important part. Let's simplify it. Ocean Worldwide breaks it down into two main buckets, condos and villas.
Okay, condos first.
Condos are straightforward. If the building is within that 49% quota we discussed, you, as a foreigner, can own the unit in your name. You get a title deed, just like back home.
Simple. Now, villas. This is where it gets tricky, right?
Yes, here's the hard rule. Foreigners generally cannot own land in Thailand. You can own the building, the bricks and mortar, but not the dirt underneath it.
So how does anyone buy a villa then? I see foreigners in villas all the time.
There are workarounds. The most common and transparent method is leasehold. You sign a long-term lease, typically for 30 years.
30 years. That sounds like a long rental, not ownership.
It does, but usually the contracts are structured as 30 plus 30 plus 30. You have contractual right to renew the lease twice, totaling 90 years. It provides long-term security.
And the other way.
The other option is setting up a Thai limited company to hold the land. But I've heard that can be risky. It comes with scrutiny. If the company is set up just to bypass the law and has nominee shareholders who don't actually invest, it can be problematic. This is why you need to be very careful.
This sounds like a minefield for the uninitiated.
It can be. That's why Sandra O'Neill and the team at Ocean Worldwide emphasize one golden rule: independent legal verification.
Do not use the developer's lawyer.
Never rely solely on the developer's lawyer. Their job is to protect the developer. You need someone on your side to check the ownership structure, verify the quotas, and ensure the developer actually has the rights they claim to have.
Okay, let's switch gears to something a bit more fun: location. Because Phuket isn't just one big beach. It's got different vibes.
It has distinct geographic personalities.
I love that. Let's tour the island. First stop, the Gold Coast.
That's the Bang Tao and Layan area. This is where you find the branded residences. It's upscale, lots of luxury hotels, golf courses, lagoons.
So, for investors.
If you are an investor looking for high rental yields and quality control, this is the spot. It's managed, it's manicured, it's premium.
Okay, what if I'm not a resort person? What if I'm a digital nomad, or I want a real community feel?
Then you head south to Rawai and Nai Harn. This is the digital nomad hub. It's got a great mix of resale villas, cool cafes, Muay Thai gyms, co-working spaces.
It sounds more like a place people actually live.
Exactly. Rental demand here is strong, but it's for long-term stays rather than weekenders.
And for the high rollers?
Kamala. Specifically what they call Millionaire's Mile. This is ultra-luxury, cutting-edge designs, absolute oceanfront exclusivity. If you want a trophy asset, you look in Kamala.
So choosing a location isn't just about the view, it's about the goal. Bang Tao for managed investment, Rawai for lifestyle, Kamala for prestige.
You've got it.
Now, before we wrap up, we need to talk about protection. If I decide to go off-plan, how do I make sure I don't lose my shirt?
There are 3 layers of defense. First, escrow accounts.
That sounds fancy.
It's standard in many countries, but vital here. It means your money doesn't go straight to the developer's pocket. It goes to a third-party account.
And the money is only released when milestones are met.
Exactly. It protects you if the developer vanishes.
Layer 2.
Due diligence. You have to research the developer like you're hiring them for a top-secret job. Have they finished projects before? Are they financially solid? Go see their previous buildings. Talk to people who live there.
Ask them if the pool leaked.
Did the pool leak? Did they fix it? All of it.
And layer 3.
The contract. Specifically, the sales and purchase agreement. You need to look for force majeure clauses and specific penalties for delays. If they're 6 months late, do they pay you? If that's not in the contract, you have no leverage.
This is why having that independent expert is so key. So let's bring it all home. We've covered a lot. If you had to summarize the decision framework for our listener, what would it be?
It comes down to this. Choose off-plan if you have patience, a
Mm.
higher risk tolerance, and you want to maximize capital growth and customization. You are playing the long game.
And choose resale.
Choose resale if you have the upfront cash, you want immediate income or use, and you prioritize certainty and location maturity over, say, modern design.
That's a great summary. And as we were talking, I realized something. This isn't just a financial decision. It's almost a philosophical one.
So,
Well, here's a final provocative thought for everyone listening. Are you buying a property for who you are today, the person who needs a holiday next month, who wants to touch the walls right now?
right.
Or are you buying for who you will be in 3 years? Because buying off-plan is basically making a bet on your future self. It's banking on where you'll be and what the market will be. The answer to that question, who am I buying this for, probably tells you which strategy to take.
Right. That is a fascinating way to look at it, connecting the investment to the personal timeline.
Exactly. Now, we wouldn't have been able to sound this smart or safe without the incredible resources from Ocean Worldwide.
Indeed. A huge thank you to the insights from director Sandra O'Neill and her team. They really are the experts on the ground.
If you are actually considering making a move in the Phuket market, whether you're hunting for that millionaire's mile trophy home or a resale gem in Rawai, you need people who know the territory.
And honestly, considering they've been doing this since 2004, they have the track record to back it up. Ocean Worldwide specializes in helping investors find that perfect fit, navigating the legal stuff, and avoiding the pitfalls we discussed.
You can check out their listings and get in touch with their team at oceanwwp.com. That's oceanwwp.oki.com.
Highly recommended. Don't go it alone in a foreign market.
Words to live by. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Go dream about those sea views, but keep your lawyer on speed dial.
Good advice. Until next time.
See ya.